I was always led to believe that SEO was a hard thing to do, and hiring out agencies who wouldn't share anything with me about what they were doing almost supported the fact that that was true, or that they had some secret that only they knew about that they didn't want to part with. Building my business around SEO, I can tell you for a fact that there are no secrets. And it's not as hard as some would have you believe. And there is no exact way for every business because there are so many variables involved. There's budget, there's resources, there's time, there's mood, but there is a general framework that you can follow to SEO your website. You are listening to the Small Business Sweet Spot. I'm Barb Davids, and this is the place for actionable, fluff-free information around SEO and content marketing so that you can increase your website visits and get more sales. SEOing your website can feel like a daunting task when you don't know where to start. I'm going to venture a guess here and say that I feel it's sort of like me with dinner making. How I feel about dinner making is about how people feel about SEO. Like, they don't know how to do it. I don't know how to make dinner. I don't want to do it. What if I mess something up and it tastes like shit? But when I have a recipe and I have directions, it seems more doable. It's just like SEO. When you have direction and you have a plan, it's doable. So with that, what actually goes into SEOing your website? It starts with getting a very clear picture of where you are right now. Here are some things to ask yourself and to document, write it down, put it in a Google Sheet, whatever. What search phrases are you currently ranking for? Which of my channels drive the most traffic? Which channels convert the most leads? Do I even have the right tracking in place to measure these numbers? Are my pages as optimized as they can be? Do I think Google can see them? And are they, more importantly, engaging to the person that I'm trying to get in front of or to help? Once you've answered these questions and documented them down, you move on to the part where you take a look at your competition or competitors in the space. To be clear, you may know who your competitors are, like if you're a local business or if you hear in the industry some other people that may be coming up when you're talking to clients. But you also have, technically, when you're working with SEO, the people that come up on that first page, the second page, the people that come up in the search results are your competitors. For most of these questions, you're probably going to want to get some sort of tool to be able to get that information, or just work with the questions that I have here for you that you can get on your own. So here's the questions to ask. How much traffic are they getting right now and on what keywords? What keywords do they show up for on first page? How often are they publishing blog posts? What kinds of backlinks are they getting, if any? What does their website look like, and do they have a Google business listing? And if they have a Google business listing, are they posting to it regularly? Analyzing what they have on their listing, such as category and description. The next stage in SEOing your website is to set goals and a strategy. Here's an example. Let's say you want to get more leads from your contact page. That number is your goal. So, for example, if you're currently getting 5 a month and your goal is to get 20, that is your goal. The strategy then would be to increase your search visibility and increase your click-through rate from organic search results. Benchmarking these numbers is a must-do before you get into any action plan. After you understand all of that, where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there, you move into action. Here's where the keyword research comes into play. You already know what keywords you currently rank for and maybe some other keywords from the earlier information that you grabbed. But what other keywords could you possibly show up for? Are there keywords or topics that you and your competitors are not showing up for that you could take the opportunity and capitalize on? Then take all of those keywords and find out how many times those are searched per month in the country that you're in or the country that you're targeting. Knowing where you currently sit and how much search traffic there is or search volume, this will help you understand what kind of traffic opportunities you're currently missing out on. Okay, once you've done the review and you've checked the competitors and you find out how much traffic you could be getting, next you move into the site audit. I know it sounds gross, it sounds techie, it sounds like an audit, but it's a lot less daunting than it ever used to be. There are DIY free and paid tools that will tell you exactly what to optimize on your website or what needs to be fixed. And they even tell you how these days. Like they give you specific instructions on how to fix the things that come up. They also usually provide a priority order. So you don't even have to think about, okay, well, what do I work on first? There are consultants that provide this for free, or they even charge up to who knows how much dollars. It varies quite widely because they all have a unique way of, or their own way of pulling the information and providing it in a output that they think is going to be in your best interest. It's your business, so it's your choice. But here's a word of caution should you go the DIY tool route. First, I will say the tool creator, I have no doubt, has the best intentions at heart when they're creating these tools. But most don't take into account your specific business. It's going off of best practice. So, for example, it might output that there is a no index, or there's a setting on your page, your privacy policy page, to say hide from Google. It's considered no index. And that, in theory, is a bad thing, generally speaking. You want all of your pages to show up in Google for the most part, like the overall general idea. However, the privacy policy is something that you don't want to show up in Google. It's not terrible if it is there, but it's a bad experience. If that were to come up as a result, you wouldn't want people landing on that page. So, and also, I don't even think it would ever rank, quite frankly, but what you want to do is de-index it. And the DIY tools will see that as depending on the tool, either an error or a warning saying, hey, this page is de-indexed, but it doesn't know that you did that on purpose. So take that into account when you're looking through the DIY tools and whatever it outputs as a report. Okay, let's get back to the audit. So you've got the report and now you've got some things to clean up. Again, most of the time they will put them in priority order, so you don't have to worry too much about, okay, what do you work on first? Usually there's one that says errors, and then there's some usually with warnings or notices. And it's more of just a best practice to clean it up if you can, or at least just take a look and see, does this relate to my specific website? Most of the time, the items that show up in your report are things that you can do and fix yourself. There's also sometimes like a common one is that the pages or the code is not compressed. And you'll find out that a lot of the times it's just usually a plugin or something that you can check on the hosting side that says, hey, I have a lot of code out there. I need it to be smushed. I need it to be smaller. And then it will compress the code and help your site speed. But I would say if there is something that you can't do yourself, check with your hosting provider first and see if that's something that they offer. And then if not, then that's when you might want to bring in a developer. Again, based off of whatever is showing in the report, you may also choose to be like, yep, that's not even an issue for me, not big enough to care, it's all good. Okay, after you do all of the things from before, now you want to go through your pages and optimize them. In last week's episode, I talked about the 11 areas that you can do or that you can look at for a page to do the optimization. And that is part of SEOing your website. So going through your pages and identifying a priority order, maybe it's the most visited, or maybe it's the bottom of the funnel to the top of the funnel, and going through those optimizations, those techniques, and seeing if there's anything that you can update. So up to this point, this is what I would consider SEOing your website. So what is this thing that everybody keeps talking about where you have to keep doing SEO like all the time? This is actually what I consider content marketing. Once you do all of the SEOing for your website, you move into content marketing, you create content on a regular basis, and then you distribute it to your socials, to other mediums over and over and over again. That keyword research that you did, that defines or that fuels your content strategy. Your content strategy defines what channels you're targeting so that you can determine the format and the cadence. And then those are combined with your available resources, be that budget, time, hiring out, energy, again, mood. An example would be writing a blog post once a month by a copywriter, and then taking that blog post and repurposing it into social snippets. So maybe you take and divide it into 4 sections, or you take each headline and you make a social post or maybe 2 social posts out of it and then publish that. So then you have 1 to 2 social snippets per week for say 4 weeks, 8 weeks, however, it depends on how long your blog post is, of course. Now, will you ever go back and SEO your website again? Sure. So you'll want to come back periodically to review keywords. Maybe something's changed in your business. You also want to do the audit periodically because just inherently, as you add more pages, as you do different things on your website, that could cause things to break, or maybe sometimes we forget about something. So it's good to come back to. But the long-term piece of quote SEOing or doing SEO on a long-term basis is technically content strategy. It's technically content marketing. Now, will you ever SEO your website again? Sure. You're going to want to relook at your keywords periodically, or if you ever go through a redesign or a rebrand, certainly you're going to want to relook at your audit and take a look at the keywords and the content that you have on your website, how the pages are performing. The long-term commitment when it comes to marketing your website is content marketing. If SEOing your website and or content marketing is something that's been giving you some frustration and you are ready to grow your business, this is the opportunity to join Grow with SEO, a personalized solution to help you SEO your website and get higher rankings. There's information in the show notes for you for your convenience, or simply go to compassdigital.com. And here's the takeaway from this episode. SEO is not as hard as it seems. There are certain factors to consider, but this basic framework will help guide your efforts. And that wraps up this episode on SEOing your website. Stay tuned for more episodes to help your business thrive online. We'll see you in the next sweet spot. Cheers. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're looking for SEO and content marketing help, you can find all kinds of information at compassdigitalstrategies.com. And if you like the episode, please tell a friend. Cheers.